Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sales Remastered. My name is Daniel. I'm your host. And in this episode, we're going to carry off from where we left off yesterday. Yesterday, we left off on video 2 on internet leads, trigger leads, and lending tree leads. And in this episode will be video number 3. So in this episode, we're going to talk about trigger leads, trigger data, credit bureau inquiries. I'm going to explain what it is. And so now you understand how to intermingle with it. And so I'm going to shut this light out. I want to thank you for your patience, as it looks like you're staring at a dark screen, since I know most of my audience really listen to this information through Bluetooth. Even though I keep trying to explain to y'all I'm handsome AF. I'm handsome as fuck up in this bitch. So you should watch the video, her and her. I'm just playing. No, but seriously though, the reason why it's dark right now is because times changed. So you're probably like, but dude, I thought time changed just this past weekend. You mean you made this recently? Hell yeah. Once I make them, I pretty much upload them. You know, last week was the only time I really took a break and really just kind of hoarded the content so that I could sprinkle out through the week. And I wanted to, experiment, because as I start to expand and grow the brand and put in more moving pieces to help build a foundation to build from, it's going to take more of my time. And so in the process of, I'm trying to fuse in the use of the scheduled posts so that it sprinkles content. You're not going a day or 2 or 3 at most without content from the channel. I want to help you guys out wherever necessary. So anyway, I appreciate you for the patience. It looks like I'm like that unlocked character on Mortal Kombat and shit. My name is Smoke. Not too many of you guys remember Smoke. If you remember Smoke from Mortal Kombat, and that was that black locked out character and shit, you gotta do something crazy just to unlock him. Like and comment below, but like, yo, I remember Smoke. Do that shit for me one time. But anyway, in this episode, I'm gonna talk about trigger leads. It's gonna play more of a role in our atmosphere. And trigger leads basically is short for credit trigger. There are 2 types of triggers. There's a credit trigger, which is like a credit inquiry. Credit bureaus, of course, you know them, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. They sell trigger data. And so if John Smith pulls their credit, then that lead or that inquiry goes to a creditor. It could go to a credit card company, mortgage company, a boat company, a timeshare company, whatever, whoever wants to buy it, right? Most particularly right now, who's most commonly buying them, of course, in our industry, is mortgage lenders. And the mortgage lender, the business, from a business standpoint, the investment is that this consumer pulled their credit, so therefore, chances are they're in need of credit. Need of credit is what we do. We give credit. That's what we sell. We sell credit. We sell money. And so when the businesses think of, okay, credit trigger, it means that this consumer is in need of money. Well, as a mortgage lender, that's just what we happen to sell. And so the mortgage companies are like, shit, give me all that data, bro. Let me have it. I got the hookup, right? And their hookup is you. Their hookup is us to sell it to the sales agent. And so it's important that we stay aware and stay prepared on how the perception is from this credit inquiry. And what I have found, because a little bit of my history, currently right now, as of today, March 13th, Tuesday, 2018, I currently work for the 3rd largest privately held mortgage lender, meaning we're not a bank. We're not Chase. We're not Bank of America. We're a privately held mortgage lender. And I work for the 3rd largest one in the fucking country. Currently, right now, I'm a producing sales manager. I lead the #1 sales team in the company. I'm talking about more units, more production, more fundings, more average per agent, everything, bruh. Top, #1, right? And so when I first started, though, originally, I'm gonna go back 3 years as a sales manager. I was put in charge to create what was called the SAVE team. The SAVE team was a retention team. In case you're not familiar with retention team, is that if you get a file and you can't sell them or you can't close them, then they bring in the SAVE team. Think of it as Ghostbusters, right? Like, you can't get rid of the ghost, so who the fuck do you call? You call Ghostbusters. Well, that's who I am. This is the SAVE team. We're the reinforcements. We're the fucking utility players on the field. Get it? We're good at everything, and we get called in as recon, like shit. Call in the motherfucking SWAT team. That's what we do. We come in and we save the deal. Now, on the flip side, our other role is that we also react to credit inquiries. And so our portfolio, since we service our loans, if anyone pulls their credit, then we have a fiduciary duty to check in and make sure that, they're aware, or to at least give them kind of like a tune-up, if you will, a checkup. And so when we get a credit inquiry, what I found from the very beginning, what used to work was we used to contact them and say, hey, you know what, we just got alerted that you did a credit inquiry. Just wanted to make sure that you authorized this request before we answer to it, or before we, make note here in the file. And what I found was, by going that way, by telling them that we were notified of an inquiry, the prospect assumes the worst. Each and every single time, they just assume the worst. And so we have to expect this. We have to expect it as the kind of like that evil stepmom, right? They're always going to say something negative, and so we got to be selective with the way we present things. We have to make it easy for them to agree. And so what I found was that used to work, but then it didn't. And so the consumers used to think that we used to monitor their credit. Like, wait, I didn't ask you to monitor my credit. Why are you monitoring my credit? Or I didn't pull my credit. Who's using my Social Security? And I did a video. It was a live Skype call with an audience member that got all the way in the East Coast, and that's all he does is he's just connected to a dialer, and he's just connecting on trigger leads. And anyway, that session was packed with a lot of information, so I'm gonna try to remember to leave the link below the video, but if I forget for whatever reason, just go to the playlist on YouTube, and you're gonna see a playlist called One-on-One Coaching, and it's inside that folder. And so there's a lot of content on there, but what I want to share with you primarily is that the most effective way to approach a trigger lead, like let's say your company gives you a trigger lead, and so far all you really know is the name, data, the name, the address, maybe even the loan amount, and you can get the rest with with your property profile, right? But it's important that you actually just give them a call and more or less try to catch them to say, hey, I just happen to be in the market, right? Instead of saying, hey, you know what, I noticed that you did a credit inquiry. I just want to check if you're actually trying to refinance. Are you applying for a credit card? Because usually that's the typical way, right, to approach. It might be a little bit different. Your words might sound a little bit different, but in short, it's giving the prospect the notion that we're aware they're applying for credit. And so that puts them in this confused state. Like, how are you knowing this, right? Like, who the fuck is watching me? Like, these people watch WikiLeaks, you know what I mean? They're a little bit suspect about NASA, NSA, I think it's NSA, yeah, NSA and CIA and fucking CTA, whatever the fuck. And so they always wonder if their phone is bugged. And they should, consumers have a right to fucking feel paranoid and feel spooktified and shit. Because it's just 2018. And so we have to be aware of this, and the best way to actually approach them is just to not even mention that you are aware they did a credit inquiry. I know it sounds weird, right? But when you approach them, it just depends on your approach. And so if you're a company who's never worked with this person, it's a little bit different from mine, right? A little different from my situation to a degree, because the prospect may have never worked with me, whereas my trigger leads were people who had a loan with me already, or who worked with me in the past. But the reason why I say to a degree is because I also contact prospects who worked with a loan officer they were not happy with. And so when I mention my company, they immediately anchor it back to that person. They believe that the entire company is like that shitty LO. And they're like, oh no, I had a very bad experience with Jason. I just choose not to work with you guys. And so then this becomes our objection, right? So instead of saying, oh, well, why are you monitoring my credit? Then they have another excuse. And so there's just many, many objections. And I want to give you a side note here, is that whatever lead type you're working with, inbound, internet, LendingTree, trigger leads, it is important that you realize most of the objections are cyclical. They're repetitive. And so it's important that you start writing it down, because you're going to get side objections. But what I have found with these trigger leads is that, just kind of like an outbound call, you're giving them, like, you are meant to contact homeowners within their area. And it's a little bit tailored versus saying, hey, my name is Daniel with such and such lender. I just want to see if you have any questions about refinancing and doing a cash out. You have a lot of equity in the home. You see, the way that we layer our conversation, the way that we break in our conversation, it is important that within the first 5-10 seconds, that it is easy for the prospect to understand. And what we want them what we want to make easy to understand is that they're going to receive a complimentary notice. They are going to receive momentarily a notice in the email that is going to bring them a great deal of value, whether they're interested or not. And this insight, this information is going to pique at their curiosity. And when it piques at their curiosity, our motive is to make them want to learn more. And when we hear the slightest hint in their tone that they would like to learn more, then we got them. And now it is up to us to massage and engage in the conversation in a way that they'll continue to want to learn more. And so it is important. It's an art of marketing and selling at the same time. You are now a marketing selling hybrid, where you are giving them the information to keep them attracted to go through the door and follow you. So much so that you are also coherent and aware to tell them things that will sell them to influence the hint of curiosity. And so if I were to give you a call and you did a trigger lead and I had no idea with you, let's say your name's Jim. Hey Jim, my name is Daniel. I'm actually just giving a quick courtesy phone call to the homeowners within your area. I'm actually sending out a complimentary notice, and I'm talking about the property profile, right? I'm sending out a complimentary notice to give you insight on what the recent sales within your area has done for your property. Whether you decide to utilize the increased equity is up to you. I'm sending this out to you because I do see record that you have a FHA loan, or I do see record that you have a equity line of credit, or I do see that your last refinance was 2014, right? And so since there are new developments that had just recently rolled out this year, we wanted to make sure that since you're within an area that we have a large volume of clients, that you are kept aware of all the information we're already privy to. And so let us be your extension to the market, and so that you understand what is available before you to improve your existing term. Again, whether you decide to use it is up to you, but at least my contact information will be at the bottom of the email. Now, what's the email that I should send this to? And they should give you the email. You probably even have the email. And say, I'm going to go and send it to your Gmail account. It's going to be tied to your property here on Memory Lane, right? And then, of course, Jim will be like, yeah, go ahead and send it. Okay, cool. I'm going to go and send it. Hey, while I got you on the phone, let me just confirm a few things. The property on Memory Lane, I see sales everywhere, right? But it's such a wide range. I want to get your idea, though. On a scale of 1 through 10, as of right now, how would you rate your home? And then they're going to say 7. Say, okay, got it. Because I see houses here going up to 300, 400, and you're going to the higher range of the comps, right? And say, I see ranges up to here. What would you estimate the value to be? And of course, they're going to come in modest again. And so, let's say we see top of the range at 350. They're going to be like, oh, I would say 320. Got it. What do you think you could do to the home to make it a 350? And then they're going to say, well, I could probably do new siding, new painting, new driveway, new landscape, new sod, all right? All these different ideas. Okay, cool. Let me go and make note of that. I'm going to go and send this out to you. Whether you decide to use the equity to make this property a 10 and reach $350,000 of value and give you $30,000 extra in equity is up to you. But what I want to do, you know what? While I got you in the phone, I got an idea. Let me do this. And then you move right into the application. But you see how that sparked the interest? And I wore a marketing and a sales cap at the same time. Now I'm going to head up inside. When I get back to video number 4, I'm going to talk about objections from internet leads. I'm going to talk about common objections and how to face these objections. And I hope that it helps you sink a couple sales today. So get your dub today. I'll see you on another one. Bye.